So I'm well aware that this DC KO'd event is already predetermined by writers, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to look at the bracket since they revealed the bracket for this upcoming event of who's fighting who. And I'm going to talk about, just for the heck of it, I am going to do a video talking about the DC unit, like who I think could win in these fights. I'm just going to talk about round one, and that's about it. Again, this is a comic where the writers have already predetermined, and writers can just come up with something BS right out the gate. So keep that in mind. But I just thought it'd be a fun video. So let's get into it. Our first fight is Superman versus Giganta. I'm pretty sure Superman's got this in the bag. He has beaten Giganta multiple times. I mean, will it be a cool fight? Yeah, but I'm giving it to Superman. I'm sure Superman's going to be pretty deep into this. I just hope it's not Batman versus Superman. I really hope it's not. I hope they're not building to a Batman-Superman finale. I feel like because that's always the thing, right? I just want him to do something different. Like, I want Joshua Williamson and the creative team behind this to, like, throw a loop and say, oh, Batman lost and Superman lost. But I'm always worried because, Batman versus Superman always always makes the big bucks. Next up, we have Captain Atom versus Power Girl. Both these are powerhouses, but I'm going to give this to Captain Atom on the grounds of it's probably the same reason of why I think him and Superman are probably headed to the second round, because Captain Atom can control radiation, and he can even make his body feel like kryptonite radiation, which, if I remember right, unless they retconned it, it can affect Power Girl. So, yeah, I do think it's going to be a pretty awesome fight, though. But I'm giving that one to Captain Atom. Also, it'd be nice to have Captain Atom win a few, because every time he shows up in a DC comic, he just explodes. That's it. Next up, Guy Gardner versus Firestorm. Now, this one's going to be a pretty intense one. This is the first Firestorm, Storm, Ronnie Raymond, and yeah, this one's going to be a tough one to really nail down as to who could win in this fight. But I'm going to give it to Guy, not just because Guy Gardner's my favorite Green Lantern, but also because Guy was very popular in a movie, and they're probably building him up more for the Lanterns TV show, and you got to have good old production synergy. So I'm going to give this one to Guy. Next up, Jay Garrick versus the Cheetah. This was one I was like, ooh, now that's a fight I could really get behind. Jay Garrick versus Cheetah. It's interesting because I don't think I saw Jay is the only Flash here. Barry, Wally, they're not here. It's just Jay, which is kind of cool that Jay Garrick gets some love, but I think I am going to give it to Jay Garrick. They wouldn't put him here unless there was a reason, but I do see that him and Cheetah are probably going to have a speedster fight, because I think people genuinely forget that one of Cheetah's abilities that she's super fast. Not like Speed Force fast, but she is pretty dang fast. But I do imagine I have a feeling Jay's going to come out on top on this one. Next up, Aquaman versus King Shark. I'm going to give this one. I'm giving to Aquaman. This one, King Shark and Aquaman have fought before, and yeah, I'm Aquaman. He's probably got this in the bag. I have no doubt in my mind he's got this in the bag. Next up, Connor Hawk Green Arrow versus Hawkman, which is, again, it's really cool that, Ollie's not here, it's Connor. So this is going to be a tough one to gauge, because Connor Hawk is a excellent marksman. I think people forget he's as good as his father. And on top of that, you have Hawkman, who he's an Athanagarian warrior. He's an excellent fighter, and he's actually pretty smart. Carter Hall's pretty smart too. So this one's going to be tough because Carter's going to have the aerial advantage in the fight, and Connor is going to be trying to knock him down. It reminds me a lot of, there was actually in Avengers versus X-Men, there was a Hawkeye versus. It reminds me a lot of Hawkeye versus Archangel. So I feel like there was if I remember right, yeah, there was in one of the X-Men versus Avengers tie-ins, there was a legit Hawkeye versus Archangel storyline. So this reminded me of that. I have a feeling they probably were thinking that too. But who do I think would come out on top in this matchup? Who do I genuinely believe is the victor in this fight. I'm going to give this one to Hawkman. I think Conor is going to put up a fight, but Carter is just like a absolute. He can just tank those arrows again and again, and he's been around Ali enough to know how that fights. But again, having Conor here instead of Ali makes it really unique, and it makes me wonder how deep they're going to go. Anyway, Lex Luthor versus Black Lightning. This is another one that could be tough, but I'm giving this to Lex. Lex is probably, Jefferson is probably going to put up a fight, no doubt about it, and try to short circuit Lex's armor. But Lex is already like, dude, I know how you're going to fight. Like, I've studied all members of the league, so I've built, generators into my armor and things like that. I think Lex is going to come out on top in this fight, but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked, pun intended, if Black Lightning wins. Next up, we have the Demon versus Supergirl. This one's another one where I'm like, dang, I don't know who could come out on top in this match, but I'm going to give it to the Demon because, again, Etrigan is magic and Kryptonians are weak against magic. Yeah. So this will be another tough fight, and I wouldn't be surprised because, again, she has a movie coming out that they have Supergirl overcome the odds and beat Etrigan, but who knows? Now let's move on to the next bracket. So our first match on the other side of the brackets are Wonder Woman versus Starro. I'm going to give this one, it's just one-on-one with Starro, so Diana's going to have to overcome a gigantic monster. But here's the thing, Diana's really good at that. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but Diana's really good at overcoming the odds when it comes to giant monsters. I don't think anyone's genuinely aware of that, but she's really good at it. So I'm giving that one to Wonder Woman. Next up, Lobo versus Plastic Man. Now here's a fun one. This is going to be a fun fight no matter what, because Plastic Man is just going to be able to bounce off anything Lobo throws at him, but Lobo's going to keep coming. I think I'm going to give this one to Lobo, though. As much as I love Plastic Man, Lobo, he's nigh on indestructible, and there's really nothing Plastic Man could do to stop him. Again, the writers could just change that and have him suffocate or something. It also feels like Lobo, in a lot of the promotional stuff, you see a lot of Lobo, so I wouldn't be shocked if Lobo makes a deep run into the universe, into this fight. Now we have Swamp Thing versus Vixen, champion of the red and champion of the green. Oh boy. This is another tough one. Vixen is an excellent hand-to-hand fighter, but I'm going to give this one to Swamp Thing because Swamp Thing is literally, you just can't kill him. He is nigh on impossible to kill. And Mari is going to have a lot of weapons at her disposal. I imagine she's probably going to use a lot of, insectoid abilities that could probably cripple the plant life that he has. But Swamp Thing's going to keep coming. Swamp Thing is just going to keep coming over and over again. I regret saying it like that. Yeah, but I'm going to give this one to Swamp Thing. Next up, Cyborg versus Batgirl. This is another one because Kate Kane is actually pretty smart and an excellent fighter. She's brutal, but I am going to give this one to Cyborg. Cyborg is just a walking computer and can just null and void any gadget she has. He's also a great fighter in his own right, and he's encountered enough Bat people to know how to fight them. So this is the one where I'm giving it to Cyborg. Now we come to Batman versus Star Sapphire. Oh boy. This is one where I'm we kind of know where this is going to go, right? Batman's going to fight Star Sapphire, and Carol's going to lose. I would be absolutely gobsmacked if they have Star Sapphire win the match and Batman doesn't advance. Because we're all thinking Batman versus Superman at the end is the end game, right? I would love nothing more than to have neither Superman or Batman be the final two opponents that face off. But for right now, it is Batman, because he is the goddamn Batman. Then we have Red Hood. We have Jason versus Damian. So that would mean we're going to have one of the Robins fight Batman in this scenario. They wouldn't set it up. Also, yeah, I feel like Batman's going to win because they're already setting it up whoever he fights is going to have to fight Jason or Damian. Yeah. But who would come out on top in a fight between Jason and Damian? Well, we've already had Batman versus Robin in the Mark Waid event, but I will say that it would be cool if Jason won just so he could have a one-on-one with Bruce again, but I don't know. I might give this one to Damian. He has outclassed Jason before, and he might have something. But this is one where it could go either way. Like, realistically, Jason and Damian, Jason has gotten the one up on Damian, but Damian has on Jason as well. So this could go either way. I am going to give it tentatively to Jason, but I wouldn't be shocked if Damian takes it. Next up, Zatanna versus Barda. This could be interesting because Barda is just a walking tank. Like, she is just an absolute unit of a woman and a warrior. And Zatanna is a master of magic. I think people forget how powerful she is. Like, I think people genuinely forget how powerful Zatanna is in terms of, like, magical class. She's an excellent fighter in her own right. She had some training with Batman and the Birds of Prey. This one, I'm going to go with the upset and say Zatanna. I think Zatanna's magic is just going to... Barda is more of a warrior. She doesn't... she's capable... she's more of... she has a lot of thought to her, but her genuine thought is, I'm going to hit you till you stop moving, and Zatanna's going to, like, probably use that to her advantage. And finally, we have Harley Quinn versus Metamorpho. This one, it makes you think that Metamorpho is going to win, but I'm kind of, like, I have this feeling Harley's going to take the... Realistically, Metamorpho is could beat her because he's just capable of turning into any element. But Harley Quinn is also very marketable, you see, and marketability sometimes beats it out, and writer favorability too. So I'm going to say, on terms of pure bullshit, I'm going to give the pure bullshit to Harley on this one, because I just feel like they wouldn't have Harley here if they weren't going to have her advance further. But then again, they really have been promoting Metamorpho a lot because, again, the movie. So who knows? It's also funny to note that, like, I was half expecting Mr. Terrific here too, or Hawkgirl, because, again, Superman movie. So there you go, guys. That's my genuine thoughts of the first bracket. Again, I could be completely wrong on all of these. This is just a fun little video. So you guys tell me in the comments below, who do you think are going to win in the first round of DCKO? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, Multiverse.